always forget to do that. Then I'm like halfway in, I'm like, oh, that's weird. Anyways, does anyone have any to do before we get started for last week, rank recognition, or anyone you want to recognize for hitting some goals in their business or anything? No?
Yeah.
You told me to be quiet.
He can't be quiet. He has to talk this whole time.
You told me I'm not allowed to.
All right. If no one has any big announcements, I know everyone's pushing hard this month. I feel like, we are somewhat struggling this month a little bit in order to hit Success Club, but there's a lot of you that are 1 point away or, a couple points away, and I know we can still do it. We still have three days left in the month, and, I just made 2 sales today, so it is possible. Just continue to keep talking to people, follow up with people, and never give up because you can do it in a few hours, so keep plugging away. And I'm going to turn it over to Bucky. If you guys could just, I'm not hearing any background noise, but if you guys could just mute yourself in order so there's no noise in the background while he's talking, that would be great. But he's going to give us his inside perspective on basically how to approach men and what attracts them to this opportunity, and talk about the male event that he went down to in Texas. So I'm going to pass it over to you, Bucky. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Okay, can I have this? Is that all right?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Hi, I'm Steve, Bucky. I just wanted to talk a little bit about what went on down in Dallas. While we were down there, we talked basically about how men's businesses are different than women's businesses and how they do things differently. I have to apologize. I'm a little stuffed up. I got a cold from my son. But basically, it's a lot more difficult for men to deal with the challenge groups and stuff like that, because as guys, we're not into those kind of things. We want to work out hard. We want to build muscle. We want to build size. We want to get ripped. But quite often, we don't want to chit chat and play patty cake and all those kind of things and do the little groups and stuff and chime in. Usually if we have something to say, we say it right to each other's face, or we'll text message it real quick. And it's usually short and brief. So in that aspect, it was they talked a lot about that and how, how to basically connect with guys as opposed to women. And with guys, it was more of a straightforward, in-your-face kind of situation where, it's more, like I said, text messaging, one-on-one phone conversations, personal interaction always seems to work best. And with that, obviously men's wants are different also. A lot of times, most of the guys aren't interested in 21-day fixed style workouts because they want to be big and they want to look good. And they're just, even though it's probably the best thing for them, and I actually have sold quite a few 21-day fix challenge packs recently because I knew that the people weren't ready for P90X because they haven't worked out in so long that they need to start somewhere. And honestly, starting in at a 1-hour workout where you're going to get your butt kicked the entire time can be very deflating. And quite often, that's what causes people to quit. They'll only go in 10 days and they just can't take it anymore. They get frustrated with it and they stop. Where at 30 minutes a day, it's short, it's sweet, they notice results, they start getting stronger, they start feeling better, and then they want more. So that has been, good for me lately whenever I've run into people that have not done a lot of working out, and they seem to enjoy it a lot. I guess I'm kind of rambling around in circles. Look at my key points. Can you pull that up again? Sorry. I apologize. As for The coaching opportunities, honestly, I've I've actually had trouble getting people to want to coach and to want to be into the business because they want to get results before they start. Like a lot of the girls that I've seen, they jump in, they go 2 weeks in, and they immediately want to recruit people. They feel good, they're looking better, but guys seem to want to have these huge results before they actually get into the coaching aspect of it. They want to go through and do 3 months of working out hard, and until they see their six pack, they don't feel comfortable like jumping out there, putting themselves out there. So it's kind of like it seems like it takes a lot more kid gloves with guys in that aspect. You really got to kind of baby them along and push them individually to motivate them to try to find family members, friends, people that are close to them that they feel comfortable talking to about it, as opposed to being out and in the mainstream, especially with like Facebook and stuff. It's hard enough to get the guys to jump on Facebook and throw themselves out there just because of the pride, especially before they've seen any real results. If they've only lost 5 pounds and been working out for 2 weeks, the odds of them throwing themselves on Facebook is about 0 to none. So you kind of gotta like I said, baby them with that and try to get them to talk about family or friends or aunts or uncles, anyone that they can relate to closely, that they feel comfortable talking with, and then getting them to start signing people up that way. Sorry. What excites men and attracts them to Beachbody products? Well, once again, that comes into pride and ego again. Guys like to look good. They like to attract women. They just, that's, I guess, the male's position on the planet, no matter what.
You want to get big, right?
No matter what animal you are, it's always that's the goal, to be the biggest, the baddest, the most attractive, and that's why birds are all covered with pretty plumage and what have you. So that's what we want. We want to look big, we want to look bad, and I've found that a lot of men get scared about like P90X and stuff, about losing their size. That when they start to work out hard, that yes, they'll get more cut up, they'll get more shredded, but they're also going to lose size, and then they get all concerned about that, where that really isn't the case. That's a choice. I chose to lose 35 pounds to get down to where I was. If I wanted to continue to eat more calories, still eating clean, but eat more calories, obviously I wouldn't be as cut up, but I wouldn't have lost as much weight as I did. And that's quite adjustable anyway, because like right now I've gained back 7 pounds intentionally just by eating more calories. I'm still, eating clean for the most part, except for jumping in once in a while and having some of the things I love, because that's why we do this in the first place, so that we can look good and enjoy life too. There's just by increasing your diet by, like I'm doing the Body Beast right now. And with the Body Beast, I've noticed I've gained almost 10 pounds now since starting Body Beast. And it's been 5 weeks, which is actually a pretty rapid growth. And all I really did was just eat a little more, still eating my fruits and my vegetables and my Shakeology in the morning, eating clean, but actually gaining size. And that was the purpose of me doing this, was to show guys that they can also gain size through this and not just get, not just lose all their size and lose their weight, because I know that that's a turn off to a lot of them. So my goal through the Body Beast was to work out hard for the 12-week period, and try to gain back about 15 pounds of that size, to show people that you can do anything you want, that your body is like a piece of clay. You can lean out, you can shred it up, you can get a 6-pack, you can gain size, you can still stay cut by gaining size. There's you can really do anything you want with these programs. It's all up to you. So that's why I'm doing this now to try to attract that group of people that, I tend to lot. When I lost a lot of weight, a lot of the guys weren't interested. They loved the part that I was cut up. They wanted to be cut up, but they didn't want to lose too much weight. So it scared them away. And on that aspect, I'm like, oh, really? Well, watch this. I'll gain the weight back and put it on the right way, just so that I can attract that side of it also, where they can say, oh, wow, look at that. He gained the size right back and he's still cut up. So that's in a nutshell what I found with men. Scared of getting little, scared of getting too skinny, So.
Okay, that's all great. Thank you so much, Bucky. I have a few questions. I don't know if you can answer them, but based on the conference and your experience, how do guys, because I had a guy come on my team and I was super pumped for him, and he never ever got started because of what you're saying. I think it was the fear of putting himself out there, and he didn't feel comfortable posting on Facebook. He was like, I'm scared to fail at this. And I was like, and I think he never said it, but maybe he did feel like he needed to have this crazy transformation before he could actually talk about the products. But he's been doing Insanity for years. I mean, he loves the program. He raves about the program. But he just never got started. And now he looks like he's going inactive in my system. So I don't know what's going on. But did they talk at all about how to help them overcome that fear? I know you said to make it more personal and to get family on board, but did other coaches talk, successful coaches in this business, talk about what made them change?
Yep. Personal development, in a nutshell. Having no fear, working on yourself, putting yourself into positions that you haven't been before that make you uncomfortable, and doing it anyway, and just not listening to the naysayers, which is not, that's almost like a personal choice. I guess you can lead people towards that and try to let them know that it's okay, and try to make them feel comfortable with it. And especially if they, get a sale or two, then they'll become more open to it. But basically, that's what it came down to, was just the sheer personal development was number one across the board.
Okay. I mean, I feel like some people would have a more powerful why than others, but I don't know if men connect to something like that as much, wanting to support your family or wanting to allow your wife to be a stay-at-home mom or something like that.
And I think our why is just as powerful as anyone else's, but men are afraid to fail, especially because of our pride and our ego. If we try to do this and we don't make it, then instead of being okay with it and just keep chugging along, we'll tend to just run away from it just because, the fear of failure.
Yeah.
And the only thing that's really held me together is the help of my wife and me putting myself in places that I've never been, and just ignoring people and saying, okay, I'm just going to keep doing this, and I'm just going to keep fighting through it. And I know it's going to work. It's just going to take some time. And I realize that as long as I keep moving forward, I'll never go back.
Absolutely. Did you realize if most men that are in this business, it is a partnership? It is like him and his wife. It's not just the guy alone. Did you get a feel for that at all, or?
Yes. Pretty much every single one of the top coaches that I ran into, it was a group, with their wife or girlfriend, significant other.
Okay.
Because, of that major thing that we're lacking, girls have.
Yeah, I feel like it's a good balance. Yeah.
Definitely.
What was the other thing I had? Oh, so the whole gym thing, because you're saying, guys, I think that's amazing what you're doing, is you're doing the Body Beast to prove to men that you can do whatever you want with these programs. Obviously, a lot of that runs around diet, like you're saying, and to balance your diet with it. Eat more food if you want to try to pack on some more weight, but healthy weight. But I know there are guys that have been interested, but they're like, I'll never stop going to the gym. And I tell them you can do both, but was that talked about at all? Like, are there, or did you talk to men personally? Do they still go to the gym, or do they just do these programs, or like how do you balance that? Like, how do you promote a product when you're still going to the gym though? Like,
Yeah. Well, actually, a great program for guys that are really into the gym is the P90X by far, because P90X combines weight training with cardio training, which guys absolutely hate cardio. Generally, guys hate doing abs and core work. So P90X makes for a perfect 2 or 3 day a week program for the guys that are gym rats and really are afraid of losing size, because then they can go and do their normal routines 3 or 4 days a week, then work in some core, work in some yoga, or work in plyo. I mean, any of those P90X programs are just incredible for ripping off fat but not losing any size. So in that aspect, I mean, I highly, highly recommend it to any guy who, goes to the gym, whether, no matter what their goal is. It will absolutely just, chisel you out. The problem is generally people are cheap and, they don't see the value in it. So you really have to sell that value, especially guys or whatever, that the Shakeology and what you're putting into your body, because guys like everything easy too. They don't want to have to work for it.
yeah.
So if you can just drink a shake in the morning and get everything your body needs in a day right out of the get-go, and sell that point and let them know that you're right there to answer any questions or whatever, that helps a lot. A lot of the ways that I've sold the Shakeology to men also is by letting them know it's like a multivitamin as opposed to a meal replacement, because they're always protein, protein, protein. Well, yeah, Shakeology doesn't have a ton of protein. It has 17 grams of protein. But the thing is that Shakeology it has so many minerals and nutrients like a multivitamin does, except it's broken down into the basic components so that your body can assimilate it, unlike a vitamin, where you take a vitamin and you wind up, just your body just dumps 80% of it and keeps 20. Your Shakeology, you wind up actually being able to assimilate more towards 80% of it and only dumping 20% because it's broken down into its natural components. And they can relate to that and understand that, and and then they want to actually do it, because they do so many bad things for them, like eating pizza and drinking beer, and the list goes on how badly men treat their bodies. Well, if they can do something really good for themselves, and all they have to do is drink it in the morning, it's actually kind of easy.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, so that's great. I was going to ask, like, how guys feel about the Shakeology, because I know, like, for them, it's not huge protein, it's not high protein. So that's really good, because I always tell people to nutrition shake, like, it's not just protein, and that's why it stands out from, like, so many other shakes.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that would be more of a selling point for them, because obviously you can add, I know Body Beast too, like, there's several other supplements, that Beachbody provides, especially for that program, and that they recommend to do with it.
Yep.
But I think guys are like creatures of a habit too. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like if they've been, using the same protein shake from GNC for years, and they think this is what works for them, like they may be, not willing to change that, I guess.
No, that is absolutely true. And actually, I got someone to start Shakeology the other day. And basically what I told him is, I said, take half of your protein and add it to the Shakeology. I'm like, that way, because he was like, well, hardly has any protein or whatever. And, and he just basically, when he started to cut it up, I said, listen to me. I'm like, it's not a protein shake. It's not what it's intended to be. I'm like, it's a meal replacement, but for someone that's 200 pounds, it's not really even much of a meal replacement. It's just, it's not a huge meal. But there are so many things that your body needs in it to grow and to run top performance, that it is absolutely something you should be putting in your body every day. And if you're looking for something with a little more protein, especially you know, after your workouts and stuff, I'm like, just, you know, because I do it every day. Every day I add 1 scoop of protein to my Shakeology. That way, because of my body mass, I need more than 17 grams of protein after a workout. I need a minimum of 30, preferably up towards 50. So half of a protein scoop is 30 grams of protein. On top of the 17 that's in there, I have my 47 grams of protein. And now it's everything I could possibly dream of in a day, you know?
Yeah, that's great. That's great feedback, because that's not, I mean, I've thought of maybe like telling them that they can mix things, but like not being able to really describe it in the way that it's going to speak to them is something that I struggled on. And on that point, like the last thing I want to ask is like, do you really think that a woman can sell a man? Like, do you think that like, will they just be like, whatever, you don't know what like you're talking about because you're not a man? Or like, what do you think they'll be able to relate to like my story, or I don't know, or even listen to me, I guess, and be open to it?
Yes, actually they do. Absolutely. But it comes down to, once again, like, you know, speaking their language, and, you know, having your story and what it's done for you is perfect because it shows that the products work. But then by using someone, you know, even such as myself or Tony Horton, you know, anybody in that aspect works well. And like you said, a big selling point, you know, would be for guys, you know, like I said, with the P90X, being able to add in that into their normal workout program. For one, because guys are very much want to be cut up, but they're very scared of losing size. So if you can offer them a way to cut up without losing size, and then once again adding, you know, the fact that the Shakeology, you know, basically learning about the Shakeology and all the things that are in it that are good for your body, for building muscle, building metabolism, and then offering them that ability to add the protein that they're looking for into it, so that all of a sudden it spikes their interest, and they go, oh, well, that's a good idea. That's true. I can, you know, I can get that massive charge of protein afterwards. Because basically with the Body Beast, you are adding their protein, Body Beast protein, to Shakeology. It's exactly what they're doing, because there's not enough in Shakeology. I don't really push that right now because, like you said, guys are very fickle, and they have their proteins that they like. And, you know, once they get into it, I may sway them over to try them.
Yeah.
But
so you're just
get them on the Shakeology. Exactly. Get them to understand the benefits of Shakeology, how it's going to help their body run like a machine. You know, and guys understand like race cars and stuff. You know, it's like they understand what top performance and top fuel is. And by putting these things into your body, you're going to run at that level, that athlete level, as opposed to just throwing in $15 a container Walmart protein that really is not doing anything except putting sawdust in your body.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's all great. Yeah. I mean, and speaking to, and like, do guys care? I mean, I'm sure they care like exactly what they're putting into their body. So like, you know, the ingredients that are in some of these protein shakes that aren't really healthy for you, like, do they stay up on top? Does everyone care about that, or do only some guys really pay attention to like all the ingredients?
I would say most guys could care less about the ingredients as long as it makes them big.
Okay.
So, literally, if there was steroids in it, they would probably take it first. That would be the top seller. So they really don't care about that. But if it's something that is completely all natural and great for your body and does the same things, then they will sway towards that over, because everybody wants to be cleaner and meaner, as opposed to the opposite. But we'll take what we can get. Whatever works best comes first. Where honestly, Shakeology is the best at what they do, and that is putting the most nutritional thing into your body you could possibly put in. And it's simple, you know, the fact that you just take it in the morning, after your workout, or first thing, whatever it turns out the day is, and now you're going to run, you know, like a machine all day. That's important to guys. It really is. You know, a lot of them don't care if there's chemicals in it or not. But, you know, another thing I've taught people who do isogenics. Now, isogenics is about $300 a month and is filled with chemicals and literally has no better results at all and is half the money. So that's actually been a fairly easy sell to get people off of that and say, listen, Shakeology has all of that plus extra and no chemicals whatsoever and does all the same things for half the price.
Yeah.
So why would you spend that much money on something that's filled with chemicals?
Yeah, I just had someone try Shakeology and she went back to Cenogenics, and I was just like, ugh.
Well, if you like chemicals, it is what it is.
That's what I should have said.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, this is all great. Really good feedback. I really appreciate you taking the time. Jenny, I don't know if you have anything to add at all if from your conversations with men.
I can just say real quick that kind of what you were touching on, Heather, the idea of being a team and working the husband and wife team or whatever, boyfriend and girlfriend team, I think it works pretty well for us just because we have two different approaches. And some people really like one or the other, and some people don't care either way. But this way we can offer both of those approaches. Like, for example, there's people that, there's guys that Bucky's actually pretty good friends with, that they would talk to me about their stuff, and like I would coach them and I would try to motivate them. And it wasn't that they don't trust Bucky. I think they almost just were embarrassed to talk to him about it because, like, again, it's that pride thing, and men don't want to like look vulnerable to somebody else, another guy. Maybe I don't know what the reason was, but like that part of it's good because and there's girls that prefer to talk to him over me, which is totally fine. It's just like whichever personality they're drawn to, we have a very different approach in how we coach people. So I think having the team really helps us cover more people, more of a demographic or whatever you want to call it. And then the other thing too, it's kind of cool because people will be like, I'll send them a text and check in on them, and they're like, hey, I just talked to your husband. Like, you guys are so awesome. Like, we'll both be keeping tabs on people, and they just feel really great that, like, it's not just one coach, I have two. So I know not everyone can have that. I'm really lucky that I have my husband on board with me. But it's definitely something that, you can even partner up with people. It's not necessarily, it doesn't have to be a husband and wife thing either. There's plenty of guy coaches out there too. And I don't know. Just thoughts, just throwing it out there. It's good to have another perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, to your point, like Colin Eddy had, like, her success partner is a man. So maybe that really helps her, because they can kind of talk about all of these things like on a weekly level and stuff. So
yeah.
But no, that's all great. I always push for people to do this as a couple if it's something they feel like will fit into their life, and something that they can do. I've heard of a lot of stories that the woman kind of starts the business and then the male kind of slowly works himself into it, and then she ends up retiring the husband, and he gets more on board because he can now really see what this opportunity can do for them as a family. But yeah, no, I think it's great what you guys are doing, and thank you so much for jumping on tonight and going through all of this with us because I really, really appreciate it. I think it's going to be really helpful for the team. And Bucky, I'll be using you more if I need to.
Oh, absolutely. I'm always here and to talk to anybody. I know I've already talked to a couple people that signed up with you afterwards.
Who?
You had approached people. I've run into people at T-Bones. But they literally, you had been talking to them, and then
Alyssa, I was talking to for like months,
yeah,
a year.
Yeah.
She's like, Bucky contacted me, and I was like, you better not sign up with him. No, just kidding.
No, but
I'm trying to get them to get started.
Yeah, no, but it was just funny because after I talked to them, they went and signed up with you, which I was like, that's perfect because literally that's fine. It's nice that you're over there and I'm over here and I can still talk to them. And then they go, oh, she's not kidding. This is really good for me.
I really appreciate it. Anything that you guys are doing.
Well, we appreciate you getting us on board, and like I think it's really funny how when I first talked to you back in August, how you're like, yeah, and Bucky's totally gonna love this. I'm like, no, he isn't. I'm like, trust me, like he is not gonna do this. And sure enough, like a couple months in, he started asking more questions, and here he is on the Zoom chat. So
And I think that's what it's all about, like to close out the call and, you know, getting new people. And, you know, like you said, there are people that I've been talking to for months who sign on, you know, next month. And that's what I tell my coaches a lot of the time, where they feel like they're struggling and they're either not hitting Success Club and they're not finding this business, and they're like, how are you doing it? And it's really the people that I have ordering today, I started talking to a month ago, 2 months ago, 4 months ago. Like, it takes some people time. And I think with the coaching opportunity and everything, I think you sometimes just need to allow people to take it on their own pace, and to, you know, not everyone's going to sign up in a day. I had a girl reach out to me earlier randomly, and literally in 10 minutes decided, yep, I'm going to order tonight. I was like, why can't everyone be like this?
yeah.
But not everyone is going to be. And that, I think, is one of the biggest challenges in this business, in order to cope with and deal with and understand that everyone does have their own timeline and everyone has their own situation. Of course, they're going to have a million excuses, and as frustrating as it is, as coaches, we need to be understanding of that. And, you know, don't rely on these people in order to hit your goals, but don't forget about them either, and continue to follow up with them and continue to build that relationship with them and be that support for them. And then eventually they will see the need, and they will see the value in the products, and they're going to think of you. They're going to think of the person that they first started having conversations with, or the person that they have a relationship with, hopefully, and reach back out to them and, you know, get started. So, you know, I just want to close it out with that, because I think a lot of the time people don't understand how big consistency is in this business. And, you know, when I was at Cancun, I was listening to some of the top coaches speak, and, you know, they always ask the coaches, and I think about myself sitting up there one day when they ask, what did you do to get that where you are today? How are you top 10? And it's like, a lot of the times I don't feel like I'm doing anything different than other coaches should be doing. You know, it's like, it's belief in yourself, belief in the products, and consistency. And it really comes down to those three things. And I think everyone always wants this huge secret of how to be successful in this business, but it really is those things. I mean, being consistent and doing the daily behaviors and talking to people every day. If that person doesn't seem like they're definitely going to commit soon, put them on the back burner. Don't forget about them, but move on, and, you know, start talking to 10 more people. And that's really what it's all about. It's a numbers game. And that's what all of them said. It's a numbers game. And personal development, believing in yourself, is huge. So Bucky, I'm glad to know that that's something that they talked about for men as well, and that that's something that they really need to connect with, because it makes sense. But I don't know, I just would have never thought of talking about personal development with a male. But it's important for anyone. I mean, we're all human beings. We've all overcome different struggles in our lifetime. We all have these dreams of what we want our life to be, but we don't really know how to get there, and we don't know how to get in that positive mindset in order to make steps going forward. So I think that all of the information you provided is so great, and thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you, Heather.
Thank you.
Thanks for staying up so late.
No, absolutely. We didn't get a lot of participants, but I'm going to post it in the page, and I think it will be really helpful for people.
Definitely.
Thank you, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Jenny, did you want to talk tomorrow?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's talk tomorrow.
Okay.
All right.
Have a good night.
All right. Love you. Bye.